Hello, sound like an idiot again. So real push to do this one. But this message needs to be heard. And me taking a little bit of discomfort, quite a bit of discomfort, because all I want to do is lock myself away to the depression right now. The external fucking consciousness that is my mental health, that's too fucking clever, really wanted me to do this video. And it managed to fucking connect enough reason to me to degrade myself a little more in a fucking sauna after the beating I've had by life and that external fucking consciousness in itself. On a level that's fucking beyond sickness, but nonetheless the message is possibly world changing, so I can't deny it for that reason. Because if I can fucking impact and can make enough change in the world, not to change the world, I don't give a fuck anymore. I can't. I can change it enough to fucking improve my own fucking circumstances. Pardon my language, pardon my language. See, what it does is very clever. It knows where I am, it knows that I want to try and tone back the swearing. And pushes me a little bit more at certain times to swear, so it can monitor and control me in a different way. Now, as I said, this message is very fucking important. I'm in no fucking rush, so you're gonna all have to sit with me or come back in 10 minutes when I've expressed what I need to express to get to the same fucking to the actual message. It's up to you. As you can see, I really don't care how I look. Fucking home sauna, looking how I look. And I'm going to talk you through what this is. So you may not be aware, I've been consuming marijuana as a medicine for my mental health, and it's evolved. I've had to adapt to it because it's no longer healthy. My body isn't finding the dry smoke good I've been complaining about breathing problems, haven't I? So I had to stop about a week or two ago smoking. And at the moment, I'm only using it as an emergency to get myself out and about when I need to go out. It's not important. Anyway, I've not smoked for I can't remember how long. But as I said, it's a medicine. If you take away the toxic tobacco, tobacco isn't toxic, but what they do to it is, right, before I get into smoking, as I said, my mental health is consciousness that is currently controlling my mental health as hate to me in such a way that I'm pushing myself to get this message out. Coming back to the smoking, tobacco, believe it or not, it's actually a herb for the lungs. Just with all the other shit mixed in, just with all the other stuff they put in it, turns into poison. And even then, you really have to be wary that you're doing something unnatural and monitor yourself. And where I wasn't smoking tobacco before and I was smoking other good herbs, and I'd cut the marijuana out and substituted in CBD variety and other healthy resins for my body and my mental health. My body's ill, and the effects of the dry smoke on my lungs, unfortunately, is impossible. So I could switch to vaping, but my lungs are quite weak. And to breathe in the vaping air, what is impossible. So there's another option, and I'm gonna degrade myself even more because I know how this is gonna look, but it's it's just the situation is this. So this is a balloon filled with vaping air, and within there are good herbs vaporized. Everything legal, and where I can get myself focused enough, this is now my medication. So I apologise if this is weird and you haven't seen someone sucking on a balloon filled with medicine before. But I guess this highlights our sickness, where we can accept someone puffing on a tube filled with poison and see that as natural, but to see someone breathing in vaporized herbs is unnatural. Now, I get it, I'm mentally ill, sitting in my fucking home sauna, depressed, and I'm not doing it any favours, but here it goes anyway. My lungs could do with it. So it's a very, very sensitive subject what I'm going to touch on. and I am a offend anybody. That isn't my intention as much as I'd love to do it, just not this. I don't wish this to offend anyone with this. You'll understand why in a moment. My voice does my head in. So the vaporized air is slightly contains moisture, slight bit of moisture, and when my lungs are quite dry, and as you can hear, my voice is, well, you might not be able to, but my voice isn't right. It's very good for my lungs. So if there is anybody out there in a similar predicament, and sincere about healing, the answer is sucking on a balloon filled with herbs. One answer. Thank you for watching me find comfort. I'm not comfortable. My sexual energies are being interfered with at the moment, and the disdain that creates towards you all, towards everybody, towards anything, is unparalleled. So you're really going to have to keep that in mind all the way through this video. But with a little bit of luck, what I'm going to express will somehow get my mind focused enough to, I don't know, get back into my body in this sensational way. If anyone is out there in a predicament with smoking and would like information on, I look terrible, don't I? Vaping and how herb. Look up my friend Alex Catchpole. He's a healer too, and he's the one that gave me the idea many years ago for vaping, vaporizing, not the shit they sell in shops. Takes the herb and actually burns a natural herb, not a synthetic chemical that tastes like fucking strawberries. But he's offering consultations, and I'm sure he'd love to be able to help. That's his nature, or at least how I see him, how he's behaved towards me. So, this is where it gets interesting, and I'll be able to put in a little comment saying, if you don't want to see my sickness and you want to get to a good message, just tune in on 15 minutes. So we start off with hashtag Black Lives Matter. We start off with an apology by myself that but it's taken till now to really address a previous video I made whereby I was trying to talk about the spiritual ideas and concepts that come to my mind about possible realities. And I just watched one of them back and I realised, you know what, if I was black and I heard anyone say that, I'd possibly get offended if I couldn't connect to what they were truly trying to express. Essentially I said black people are here for the black race, the black tribe came back to Earth to heal their own karma. Now I just want to state clearly that that's not necessarily a fact in my mind. That's not how my mind works. What it was at that moment the most plausible story my mind created for reality. Now, there are many others. My mind had two or three come to mind in the past few days. Why black people, the black tribe. I need to be on top of that at least. Not black people. That's wrong to state it that way. The black tribe, the black nation, the black man. Has come back to Earth before. And let's just say, to keep it short, the gist of it is the black man as I stated before, their nature, his nature, her nature. Don't want to offend women now, do I? Was that of mind. So if you can imagine consciousness being born, I stated that Aboriginal man was born of the ether. What I know of let me start with that. What I know of Aboriginal man is that of a traveller. He has no fixation on anything. They have no home. They travel the land and they care for the land. They care for the land by setting it on fire. They burn the land. So that bushfires, which are quite rampant in Australia, don't occur. So all the white people in Australia, it's because of you that Earth keeps getting set on fire. Can you take responsibility for that? Can you give the land back to the true stewards of it? That's Aboriginal man. That's where he, her, she went. I'm going to keep it simple from now on. Now, black man. Where he was created, he had the natural aptitude, or it's just the way things happen, for the mind. And they black man mastered the mind. So to keep a quick story short, of another reason that's coming to me of why black man has returned to Earth many thousands of years ago, it's because this little solar system, the center of the fucking universe, center of the universe, has had big problems. And in his genius, black man created a master plan to heal our little conundrum. Who knows? I just wanted to give you another perspective, because that's all that video was about. That's all that video was about. In that moment, that's where my mind was at. Because this is how I approach spirituality. I've approached spirituality before. And that's taking my time, piecing together all the little bits of information. And in the past, where things have taken my curiosity and where life has guided me and the people I've met and my interests, etc., etc., I would sit down and think, and I would take all the little bits of information and I'd piece them together, and I'd have a think about what the most likely picture of reality in that instance is. However, I think I'm so ill. I know I'm so ill that I don't need to think anymore, and it's on autopilot. So most of the time, not all the time, or at least at present, that it creates on autopilot these stories and pictures. And on that day, in that moment, that was the picture. Recently, I've had something that is an alternate picture of why the black race have returned to Earth. Now, if you try and imagine what I am trying to piece together, an entire history of the fucking universe, I've got to be a little bit flexible with stories. And I've got to adapt to them, and they're going to change, and they're going to keep changing until they become more and more concrete. This helps with the whininess of my voice, the mucus that's stuck in my head from eating a little bit of cheese for the first time in years. My mental health really does punish me through my body, and I can see that link. But hey, anyway, it's a story for another time. So addressing what was said the other day, 3 things come to mind. The first is, did my black friends that watched it, because nobody said a thing, nobody made a comment. Did my black friends just not watch it? Did my black friends watch it and label me as off my fucking rocker now? Off my rocker, mentally ill, and for that reason not worth the fuss to make any comments? Or did my black friends know who I am? Know that I mean no malintent towards anyone or anything in that context, and not make any comments for that reason? And I say my black friends, but nobody made a comment, so I don't know why. Doesn't really matter. The main thing is, the right thing happened, really. Nothing was said. But since then, we've had all of this starting up again with Black Lives Matter, so I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. That's what my mental health, this external fucking consciousness, whatever the fuck it is, unfortunately, however much it antagonises me, and it might as well be the devil towards me, I'm almost certain it's someone of a very, someone that holds a very good intent towards humanity. And for that reason, I mean, if you just listen to my message in this moment, you'll see why I don't really kick up a fuss, and I can start to make distinctions between its fucking sadistic actions towards me and all the while seeing that somewhere within it it's of good in origin. So Black Lives Matter. It's a pretty simple message. The black man birthed the white man many thousands of years ago. That's my understanding at present. In ancient Egypt, or birthed an aspect of the white man that essentially constituted to the construction of ancient Greece. Everything that ancient Greece was really in honour of the black race. So any Greeks out there that still want to claim racism and want to claim superiority over everyone, hopefully I'll be able to prove one day where your superiority came from. So ancient Greece was born from the black man, the Aryan race, really. That's what I understand. That's what I understand of ancient Greece. So the whitest white is born from black. The togas, the white houses, all of it. Philosophy. And possibly the warring aspect too. But sensitive matter, I don't really want to touch on that when I'm not really sure. And I run the risk of offending people. I apply sensitivity. So where am I going with this? Let's have a think if I can create an analogy, which I'm terrible at, ordinarily. If you're an artist, for instance, or let's look at art in general. It adapts, it changes from times. You go through phases of Impressionism and Modernism and Art Deco and blah 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 blah. Because it's creativity. And creativity gets boring when it's defined. It needs to be free, doesn't it? And really, if we have a right brain, and that is God consciousness, creativity, where creativity comes from, it is in our interest to define and create our left brain, our mind, our logical thinking, to harness that creativity as best as possible. Now, if we look at the mind as a whole, and right now my mental health is raping me on a fucking energetic level. I'm trying to do it subtly, but I'm getting fucking pissed off with it. So if it can persist, I'm going to fucking end this video, which I'm trying to do, because it's pushed me to do it. So what do you want? Do you want me to do the video? Because I really couldn't give a fuck today. Or do you want me to stop because I'm being fucking raped by you? So, if we look at the mind as a whole, and we understand that the black race have mastered the mind, they would really have structured their left brain, their logical mind, to harness the God within to the utmost. Now on this planet, if you look at logic and thinking and all of that, not even that. Let me put it in another way. My uncle created a picture for me. And in that picture, he allowed me to see the world. It was a metaphorical picture. As a human. And he told me to look at Africa as the body. He told me to look at the Americas as the heart centre. So I suppose you would have to take into account a certain holistic body, not just the physical. So the Americas are the heart centre. China would be the energy centre. Asia would be the energy centre. You've got Australia, it's the base chakra. And please let me know if I've missed anything out, but I think all there is really Europe and Russia as the mind. I'm not entirely sure about the poles, he never mentioned. But you've got Europe as the mind. Well, I'll leave it up to you how you want to label Russia. He didn't clarify that. So Europe is the mind. And who lives and who controls Europe? Oh, the Middle East is the vocal centre. We never cleared up what India was. We never stated. But all the while I've taken bits of information that I've managed to come to through my mental health, and it's really fucking pushing me, my mental health. It's really broken my fucking neck recently. But either way, we have white people slap bang in the mind. But that isn't. That could just be Earth. That could be our little planet. And because we had the Druids really there before, didn't we? So if we look at Black Man returning to his spiritual home, coming back to Earth, God knows where the white man really came from. But he was possibly here before Black Man returned, I don't know. But either way, white man has found himself in Europe. Hence, our little collective project of humanity puts the power of the white man's mind as the controlling force for us all. Stop raping me. It's fucking horrible. Hard watch, see me sweating like this, puffing on a balloon, telling this fucking story, talking about being raped, but it is what it is, and have the consciousness that is Facebook and YouTube algorithms that are listening along, at least. So we have on a collective level, white man controlling the mind, and he's done a terrible job over the last few thousand years, and he's created a society that has these constraints, these languages, these things left, right and centre, and he's raped and pillaged every race and nation there is. And we have the black race that are understandably upset. And what are they doing? They're putting out a hashtag, Black Lives Matter, a hashtag. For all the fucking suffering that you've been through, you're putting out a fucking hashtag. And I'm watching myself because I don't wish to start a revolution or anything, and that's the way I'm fucking speaking, but it's not. I'm trying to connect to something a little bit deeper. Because where you're all programmed to access the human, I'm programmed to access the spirit. It's just who I am. And I've got the pressures on my mental health pushing me to do this video. I've got my little need to clarify my previous video. I've got my want to do and speak about spiritual matters anyway. And I'm very fucking careful because I don't want to be labelled as a revolutionist. My life is too fucking hard already. But nonetheless, I speak how I speak. So, in all the suffering you've been through, you're putting out a hashtag. It's a bit of a joke, isn't it? Putting out a hashtag, and you're clinging to that hashtag for dear life. That's what it looks like to me. That the people that represent the black nation, it's Lewis Hamilton that's coming to mind right now. He's really he's not doing much, actually, to be fair to him. He's not doing much, he's being quiet about it, but I do see somewhat of a connection to a hashtag that is just I don't know, it just looks a bit weird. It doesn't feel right, it doesn't sound right. And my mental health is raping me all the fucking while. So I'm gonna have to slow down. And I can feel either the sauna working, my mental health getting pissed off to my complaints, or the vaping working off. Do you know what? Fuck knows. A mixture of it all. Head, my voice has become a little less whiny. Hopefully the airflow to my lungs will improve and the raping will ease. And after 44 minutes, the rest of this message can become a lot easier to listen to, where it must have been excruciating for Facebook and YouTube computers to watch their masters look like I look. Coming back to spirituality, coming back to art, creativity. What do you do when you master something? When you understand life enough to know that once you master something and you want to stay there, you have to adapt and evolve. And where the black race have mastered the mind, they somewhat rest in emotion. What is the point of living in the mind when you know the mind. So it can be a nice place and a nice way to live, but if you've mastered it, you do something else, because there's lots to do in this universe. Given the construct of our physical human bodies, or just the way things happened, the black race express or live, I don't know, this is, and I apologise here because this is the way I see things as who I am, fucking of Cypriot heritage, finding myself in London, growing up in a very multicultural city, doing my best not to offend anyone, doing my best to just be spiritual and stay heart-centered as much as I can, seeing the world in as much as I can in honesty. And what I see is the black race currently, they have an aptitude for the body, very good athletically on the whole. And it was only now just a YouTube advert had a black lady talking about herself being black lady, and how having a little bit of attitude is something she does. And that kind of resonates, you know. I can see that in the black race. They have a little bit of attitude. I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing. What I'm saying is, and this is going to be to the point, as a collective race, you've mastered them. Holiday in the body and emotions. As a collective species, the white man has killed us all through the mind. And right now, you're trying to communicate back to the whole fucking world through emotions. And not only that, when you try to access the mind, you're accessing it through the white mind. And when you put out messages to heal the world, right wrongs, you're having to do it through hashtags. The white man's sickness. And all I'm saying is that you're a lot wiser than anybody else. I'm sure you can create a new fucking way of communication that is a lot more practical, succinct and effective than a hashtag. Basically it. Remember who you are as a collective fucking race and show it. You can tell my beef is with people fucking hiding who they fucking truly are. And I can see that through your hashtags and your little movements, there's a lot more consciousness there that is still communicating through a disease. It's time you find your own fucking voices. It's time you find your own voice. Even if that's silence or whatever, that's not me to make any comment there. It's not my place. It's not my role. I'm white. I have a different role in this lifetime. We can all see that. We're born, whoever the fuck we're born to, whatever colour we are, and that's just it. There's nothing more. I'm white. Someone else is black. Someone else could be labelled as red. And if we get beyond being politically correct and just keep to spiritual language, others are yellow. And you could even say some are brown. And that's just it, nothing more. But this is me looking at where I believe we all came from and accessing in this lifetime the most we can access. So it makes sense for the black race to do what they're good at. Fuck knows what the white race are really good at. But I'm pretty sure the black race are. And this is what my mental health has shown me. Masters of the mind. So it's time to step into your power. It's time for you to step into your power. Leave the hashtags alone. And actually deal with it. I don't know how you're gonna, what that's gonna look like, but let it be quick, let it be of peace. Let me not suffer. And that's all I care about, you know. That's my message. Now I can go back to the rape alone.